Yo, as promised, second one of the day, closing out the night, finishing off the day on a good note. Not quite moving on to habit 7, but we're moving on to part 4, which is renewal. So let's get to it. Or not, habit 7. Sharpen the saw. Principles of balanced self-renewal. Sometimes when I consider what tremendous consequences come from little things, I am tempted to think there are no little things. Bruce Barton. Suppose you were to come upon someone in the woods working fearfully to saw down a tree. What are you doing, you ask? Can't you see? Comes the impatient reply. I'm sawing down this tree. You look exhausted, you exclaim. How long have you been at it? Over 5 hours, he returns, and I'm beat. This is hard work. Well, why don't you take a break for a few minutes and sharpen that saw? You inquire. I'm sure it would go a lot faster. I don't have time to sharpen the saw, the man says empathetically. I'm too busy sawing. Habit 7 is taking time to sharpen the saw. It surrounds the other habits on the 7 habits paradigm because it is the habit that makes all the others possible. 4 dimensions of renewal. Habit 7 is personal PC. It's preserving and enhancing the greatest asset you have, you. It's renewing the 4 dimensions of your nature: physical, spiritual, mental, and social/emotional. Although different words are used, most philosophies of life deal either explicitly or implicitly with these 4 dimensions. Philosopher Herb Shefford describes a healthy, balanced life around 4 values: perspective, spiritual; autonomy, mental; connectedness, social; and tone, physical. George Sheehan, the running guru, describes 4 roles: being a good animal, physical; a good craftsman, mental; a good friend, social; and a saint, spiritual. Sound motivation and organization theory embrace these 4 dimensions or motivations: the economic, physical; how people are treated, social; how people are developed and used, mental; and the service, the job, the contribution the organization gives, spiritual. Sharpen the saw basically means expressing all 4 motivations. It means exercising all 4 dimensions of our nature regularly and constantly in wise and balanced ways. To do this, we must be proactive. Taking time to sharpen the saw is a definite quadrant 2 activity, and quadrant 2 must be acted on. Quadrant 1, because of its urgency, acts on us. It presses upon us constantly. Personal PC must be pressed upon until it becomes second nature, until it becomes a kind of healthy addiction, because it's at the center of our circle of influence. No one else can do it for us. We must do it for ourselves. This is the single most powerful investment we can ever make in life: investment in ourselves, and the only instrument we have with which to deal with life and to contribute. We are the instruments of our own performance, and to be effective, we need to recognize the importance of taking time regularly to sharpen the saw in all 4 ways. The physical dimension. The physical dimension involves caring effectively for our physical body, eating the right kinds of food, getting sufficient rest and relaxation, and exercising on a regular basis. Exercising is one of those quadrant 2 high leverage activities that most of us don't do constantly because they aren't urgent. And because we don't do them, sooner or later we find ourselves in quadrant 1, dealing with the health problems and crises that come as a natural result of our own neglect. Most of us think we don't have enough time to exercise. What a disordered paradigm. We don't have time not to. We're talking about 3 to 6 hours a week, or a minimum of 30 minutes a day, every other day. That hardly seems an inordinate amount of time considering the tremendous benefits in terms of the impact on the other 162 to 165 hours of the week. You don't need any special equipment to do it. If you want to go to a gym or a spa to use the equipment or enjoy some skill sports such as tennis or racquetball, that's an added opportunity, but it isn't necessary to sharpen the saw. A good exercise program is one that you can do in your own home, and one that will build your body in 3 areas: endurance, flexibility, and strength. Endurance comes from aerobic exercise, from cardiovascular efficiency, the ability of your heart to pump blood through your body. Although the heart is a muscle, it cannot be exercised directly. It can be exercised through the large muscle groups, particularly the leg muscles. That's why exercise like rapid walking, running, biking, swimming, cross-country skiing, and jogging are so beneficial. You are considered minimally fit if you can increase your heart rate to at least 100 beats per minute and keep it at that level for 30 minutes. Ideally, you should try to raise your heart to at least 60% of your maximum pulse rate, the top speed your heart can beat, and still pump blood through your body. Your maximum heart is generally accepted to be 220 less your age. So if you're 40, you should aim for an exercise heart rate of 108, which is 220 minus 40 equals 180 times 0.6, which is 108. The training effect is generally considered to be between 72 and 87% of your personal maximum rate. Flexibility comes through strength stretching. Most experts recommend warming up before and cooling down / stretching after aerobic exercises because it helps loosen and warm the muscles to prepare for more vigorous exercise. After, it helps to dissipate the lactic acid so that you don't feel sore and stiff. Strength comes from muscle resistance exercises like simple calisthenics, push ups, pull ups, and sit ups, and from working with weights. How much emphasis can you put on developing strength depends on your situation. If you're involved in physical labor or athletic activities, increased strength will improve your skill. If you have a basically secondary job and success in your lifestyle, it does not require a lot of strength. A little toning through calisthenics, in addition to aerobic and stretching exercises, might be sufficient. I was in gym one time with a friend of mine who has a PhD in exercise physiology. He was focusing on building strength. He asked me to spot him while he did some bench presses and told me at a certain point he'd ask me to take the weight. But don't touch it until I tell you, he said firmly. So I watched and waited and prepared to take the weight. The weight went up, and down, and I could see it begin to get harder. He kept going. He would start to push it up, and I'd think there's no way he's going to make it. But he'd make it. Then he'd slowly bring it back down and start back up again, up and down, up and down. Finally, as I looked at his face, straining with the effort, his blood vessels particularly jumped out of his skin. I thought, this is going to fall and collapse his chest. Maybe I should take the weight. Maybe he's lost control and didn't even know what he's doing. But he'd get safely down, then he'd start back up again. I couldn't believe it. When he finally told me to take the weight, I said, why did you wait so long? Almost all the benefit of these exercises comes at the very end. Stefan, he replied, I'm trying to build muscle, and that doesn't happen until the muscle fiber ruptures and the nerve fiber registers the pain. Then nature overcompensates, and within 48 hours, the fiber is made stronger. I could see his point. It's the same principle that comes with emotional muscles as well, such as patience. When you exercise your patience beyond your past limits, the emotional fiber is broken, nature overcompensates, and next time the fiber is stronger. Now, my friend wanted to build muscular strength, and he knew how to do it, but not all of us need to develop that kind of strength to be effective. No pain, no gain has validity in some circumstances, but is not the essence of an effective exercise program. The essence of renewing the physical dimension is to sharpen the saw, to exercise our bodies on a regular basis in a way that will preserve and enhance our capacity to work and adapt and enjoy. And we need to be wise in developing an exercise program. There's a tendency, especially if you haven't been exercising at all, to overdo. And that can create unnecessary pain, injury, and even permanent damage. It's best to start slowly. Any exercise program should be in harmony with the latest research findings, with your doctor's recommendations, and with your own self-awareness. If you haven't been exercising, your body will undoubtedly protest this change in its comfortable downhill direction. You won't like it at first, you may even hate it, but be proactive. Do it anyway. Even if it's raining on the morning you schedule to jog, do it anyway. Oh God, it's raining. I got to develop my willpower as well as my body. You're not dealing with a quick fix, you're dealing with a quadrant 2 activity that will bring phenomenal long-term results. Ask anyone who has done it constantly. Little by little, your resting pulse will go down as your heart and oxygen processing systems becomes more efficient. As you increase your body's ability to do more demanding things, you'll find your normal activities much more comfortable and pleasant. You have more afternoon energy, and the fatigue you felt that's made you too tired to exercise in the past will be replaced by an energy that will invigorate everything you do. Probably the greatest benefit you will experience from exercising will be the development of your habit 1 muscles of proactivity. As you act based on the value of physical well-being instead of reacting to all the forces that keep you from exercising, your paradigm of yourself, your self-esteem, your self-confidence, and your integrity will be profoundly effective. I'll take a pause there. One thing that I definitely want to take note of is I find it very inspiring from this author to include stuff that's outside of going to the gym is personal development, but I mean that in an aspect of showcasing that it's not just about your IQ and your EQ in your family, in your friends, in your work life. He's demonstrating that there's more to that when it comes to personal development, and that's showcasing going to the gym and exercising. Now, the 4 quadrants, obviously we're in the physical quadrant, but to showcase and even talk about insightful stuff about exercising really showcases the amount of credibility that this author has. So that's one thing, something that just had in my back of my mind. But to talk about the physical dimension is that being fit is very important. I believe the term is health over wealth. You don't want to be wealthy and crippled. I think being healthy is a very important aspect in everyone's life. It should be. Being able to exercise, being able to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm proud of myself. Whether if you lost 1 pound, whether if you lost 10 pounds, whether you're getting strength in the gym by 1 pound or you're gaining strength by 10 pounds, it doesn't matter. As long as you are proactively going to the gym with set goals, with set ambition, and with set motivation every single day, no matter what life throws at you, showcases that you truly care about what you want to accomplish in life, but also making sure that your body, your mind, and your health is in check. I take the gym very seriously. I enjoy the gym. Long story short, I started going to the gym because of football. I was forced to go. But during summer camps, you go every single day, and you kind of just fall into the habit of going every single day. Not every single day, but 5 times out of the week. Some days I don't want to go at all, especially on leg days. I'm going to be honest, I don't enjoy leg days, but I still happen to go. And I know that in the long term, me going to the gym is going to be super beneficial. And it is beneficial for me now. I used to be a bigger kid. Now I'm a slimmer down kid. I've gotten taller. But I'm proud of what my body looks like. I'm proud of my health. I just recently went to the doctor and showcased that I'm a low risk patient, meaning that my health is in check, my body's in check. I don't have any kind of severe, diseases or injuries, which I'm very proud of. And others should feel that way too. And I hope, people start to realize that going to the gym or being able to exercise is very important. So yeah, I could talk about this all day, but yeah, we'll wrap up the day. Once again, I made 2 videos today because I had missed yesterday due to not having my book and being home, and not being here in Seattle. But nonetheless, we're back on schedule tomorrow. We'll get right back to it. See you guys.